As many of you know, I was part of the team that designed, wrote, and helped Affirmative Action become the law of the land. Many people have called me the handmaiden of Affirmative Action. So let me present my understanding of this June 29th U.S. Supreme Court decision outlawing affirmative action. No longer will affirmative action be the law of the land. Affirmative action was designed to open doors, especially in education, because those doors were closed to blacks and many women at that time. In 1972, I anticipated that affirmative action would last a generation at most. What a surprise that 50 years later, this wonderful, successful idea, as judged by its original intent, would still be around. Affirmative action brought a needed legality to address the active and often open discrimination against black people and women. Affirmative action supported and created thousands of women and minority businesses. It opened jobs in industries and businesses previously closed to qualified, deserving Americans. It opened schools and universities to those previously excluded. All of that good was delivered by affirmative action in its first 10 to 20 years of existence. But then it began to change, to grow, to morph into a numbers game that infected almost every aspect of American life. In the numbers game, everyone had to have this number of these and that number of those, regardless of merit and qualifications. Then, affirmative action morphed into the ultimate monster of today, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is the ultimate numbers game. DEI demands that in every corner of American life, we have a certain number of every possible group of people. Gay men, gay women, trans people, large people, small people, tall people, short people, regardless of ability, qualification, or merit. Well, every group that is except Native Americans and Cajuns, but that's another story. This DEI, affirmative action on steroids, produced three results. First, frequently real clown shows resulted. The Biden White House is a perfect example. A brown person totally inexperienced and unprepared to protect our southern border. A black spokesperson totally unlearned in the press matters and unable to respond literately and reasonably to questions. A gay man in charge of transportation who doesn't know railways from Shinola. A Secretary of State who's a blinking disaster. A black man leads our military fighting forces to become more green, more gay, less disciplined, and less tough. DEI created this incompetent clown show at America's highest office. Second, DEI and its demand for equal outcomes for all invariably turned its back on people who worked hard, studied hard, prepared themselves, and achieved. This malevolent bastardization of affirmative action moved America away from merit and achievement to a dark fog of discrimination against the prepared. Like Asians, for example. Many in the Asian community play by the rules, get prepared to climb the American ladder of success, only to be pushed aside by someone whose only qualification is their gender or race or color. Third, not only did DEI and affirmative action create an illegal system of discrimination, but the immorality of discriminating in the name of anti-discrimination simply became too great an oxymoron for increasing numbers of American population to digest. From old civil rights warriors to young persons feeling the sting of this new discrimination, to scholars, to Americans concerned about the dumbing down of our nation, American opinion, and the Supreme Court majority all turned against affirmative action. Today, at this cemetery, we remember the good affirmative action did for America in the 1970s and 80s and on now. And today, the monster that created diversity, equity, and inclusion, that hell of anti-merit and anti-excellence discrimination, lies buried in a graveyard, in a legal graveyard. So, America, what are we to do? What next? We have not yet totally achieved a full and open, non-discriminatory society. We should do that because all of us deserve it. Let's stay on the battlefield and make America the great that it deserves to be.